Chapter 1. The Twin Histories, Blood and Brine, the Badger Empire, the Farron Creed. Before the stars were named, before language itself took root, the Farron Badgers carved their destiny beneath the crusts of frozen moons. They were burrowers first, creatures who worshipped the depth, the pressure and silence that birthed all endurance. Their earliest priests said that to dig was to pray, and to eat what one unearthed was to inherit its strength. But in the coming of the galactic era, the Badgers' prayers turned industrial. Their tunnels became cathedrals of extraction, riddled with forges that beat in rhythm with their triple hearts. They found in the void what they had once found in the soil: ore, mackerel, and blood. And they built a faith around preservation, the sanctity of the unspoiled, and the eternal, the fetish of preservation. The Badgers' grotesque cultural fetish grew from that creed. They believed rot was sin, and that to preserve something, even against nature, was to redeem it. They embalmed their dead in salt brine and mackerel oil, sealing them in tin coffins labeled with the date of death, and the temperature of the forge that purified them. Every noble Farron family maintained a vault of the preserved, where ancestors floated eternally, mouths open as if still screaming prayers. When they discovered that distilled possum blood could keep fish fresh, even through radiation storms, they took it as divine confirmation that they had found God's preservative, the secret ingredient to everlasting dominion. From that revelation rose the empire's national religion, Hemovery, and its ruling doctrine: to preserve is to possess is to rule. The lie of the depth. The empire's historians later concealed a darker truth. The first experiments with possum blood were failures. Thousands of Farron laborers died of toxic contamination. It was only through the intervention of the depth engineers, bioalchemists, who secretly blended Farron and possum DNA, that the modern preservative formula stabilized. The Badgers never admitted that their purity had been tainted by the blood of those they considered beasts. The official records were rewritten, the depth engineers erased, their lineage hunted, but traces of their hybrid blood still run through the noble houses of the Farron line. The King of Farron, King Grusk IX, the Iron Maw from that corrupted lineage, was born. King Grusk IX, called the Iron Maw. His fur is black as vacuum ash, his claws sheathed in comet iron, his breath filtered through a rebreather that releases the scent of brine and formaldehyde. Grusk's strength is not just physical, it is ideological. He can smell decay in ideas as well as flesh. He purges weakness from his court with surgical cruelty, and his very saliva is acidic enough to scar metal under his reign. Farron technology reached grotesque new heights. Their ships are bioforged coffins, each vessel built around a preserved corpse of a sainted badger, whose spirit is believed to guide its path. Their reactors are mackerel crucibles, powered by fish oil plasma mixed with microdoses of possum hemoglobin. Their soldiers wear brine armor, liquid-cooled suits that recycle their own sweat and blood, allowing them to fight for days without rest. And at the heart of every warship hums a preservatorium, a sanctum where mackerel and blood are fused in endless ritual distillation. The Possum Dominion, the Crimson Drift. Where the Badgers built downward, the possums of the Crimson Drift ascended. Their earliest myth says they were born from the first marsupial's dream, a sleeping goddess whose pouch was the womb of the stars. When she awakened, her children fell from her belly into the nebulae, scattering across the galaxy. They lived as scavengers among derelict ships, clinging to the ruins of others' empires, surviving on refuse and radiation. Yet, from their suffering came a revelation. Decay was not sin, but transformation. While the badgers embalmed, the possums evolved. Their biology became fluid, adaptable. Every wound a new design, the fetish of metamorphosis. The possum's grotesque cultural fetish is their worship of the molting of flesh. They believe each life must shed itself to ascend, spiritually, genetically, mechanically. Their nobles practice marsupial rebirth, a rite in which they are surgically unstitched and resewn into new forms. Their tails, replaced by living fiber-optic conduits, link their nervous systems directly to their ships. Their eyes are swapped for lenses that can see into the ultraviolet dreams of nebulae. To them, blood is a sacred flux, not something to preserve but to ignite. It powers their weapons, feeds their ships, and carries ancestral memories encoded in plasma. The lie of ascension. Their sacred texts speak of a god named Vaneborn, who supposedly taught them how to weaponize their blood. But historians within the drift know the truth. Vaneborn was no god, but a traitor badger scientist, one of the depth engineers who fled Farron space after the failed experiments. The possums rewrote her identity, transforming her into myth to conceal their hybrid origin. Their rebellion was never pure. It was born from the same corrupted synthesis that empowered the badgers. Both species are the twin children of the same experiment, though neither will ever admit it. The Queen of the Drift. Mira Vaneborn, the blooded mother. From this legacy arose Queen Mira Vaneborn, last of the Ark-mothers and high marsupial of the Crimson Drift. Her fur is silver, threaded with circuitry that pulses in rhythm with her heartbeat. Her eyes are pools of plasma, and her tail, long and prehensile, glows faintly with neural energy. Mira's strength lies in adaptation. No matter the environment, she alters herself, grafting new limbs, new organs, new minds. It is said she once grafted the consciousness of 3 dead admirals into her own brain, so that she might command fleets and dream of strategies simultaneously.